Hey everyone, Peter Jordan here from pjreviews.com, and I want to welcome you to my review of Syndbuddy. Now, for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with Syndbuddy, it's been around for a while, and it is, in essence, a web-based social exchange software. And at the present moment, there's nearly 750,000 shares of people's social content that has been made. Okay, and this is within the past 8 months or so. So why would you need something like this? Let's start from there. As you know, Google looks for signals that website, blog posts, or video are actually having some sort of engagement, that people are actually watching the videos, coming to a website and actually interacting with it, not bouncing off the page and leaving, that they're staying. So there's so many different factors, but engagement, and that people are actually going here willingly, that you're not using some sort of a bot or you're not using something artificial to actually create the impression that there's interest in your particular content. In other words, Google is looking for there to be sort of a natural progression or a natural interaction that is actually based on buyer intent and on people's interests, that they're actually going to a particular site over and over again because they find great value in that particular site, and so forth and so on. So therefore, it's important that Google sees that if you have content, that it's being shared on social platforms, whatever they might be, whether it's Pinterest or if it's on or Google Plus or Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. So we don't know to what degree that these signals make a difference, these social signals make a difference, but we know that they must have some sort of value, right? So in order to obtain these social signals in a natural way, what Syndbuddy allows you to do is to actually interact with thousands of other users from around the world, by the way, all with separate IP addresses, and that's critical, okay, who are going to share your content, and they're going to do that in exchange for credits, okay? So there's a reward system built into this for people to do this, okay? And there's a reward system that for you to accrue credits, you will share willingly other people's material, content on your social accounts. Okay? And so that's the way it works. And it works very well, and it's very, very effective. And there's nothing spammy about this. There are no bots used. These are all human interactors, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the 3,000 people that use this on a consistent basis, and I've been using it for close to the past year or so, and I can tell you that it is very, very effective, and it has helped me with many of my campaigns. And it's very, very simple to use, and that's what I like about it, and it's all cloud-based, which is even better. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, what Syndbuddy is, okay? And there is a summer sale that is going on that's going to be starting on June 25th. I do not know how long that sale will last. It may last for only a couple of days, but these are the times that you really, if you're interested in a particular product or it's something that you need, that you want to look for, because those usually offer you the best discounts for that product, and this is no exception. So before I take you into the members area and actually show you Syndbuddy and how it works and how I've used it and give you some examples, okay, I do want to point out that the vendor is going to be offering bonuses along with this, which are relatively good, very useful. In particular, one of those bonuses is an actual full-fledged course that Joshua Zamor had offered for a substantial amount of money some years ago. And now it's being offered as a bonus if you buy Syndbuddy. And I think that it could be very, very useful, especially for those of you that may be starting out in video marketing. This is something I think you will find very, very informative. I will also be offering my own bonuses. I'll tell you about those a little bit later. This is my bonus page, and if at any particular time that you're interested in the product, you could read more about it here as well, but I'm going to be covering a lot of these points that are being made here. But if you wanted to read them, you can. If at any particular point you just decide that you do want to go for this, all you have to do is click here and you will be able to, you'll be taken to the sales page, and then you will get the copy of the program and as along with my bonuses. There's also a video that I'm including here. It's a case study. Joshua Zamora, I really encourage you to watch this, and it shows, Zamora shows how he was able to rank his videos, several of his videos, using these social accounts, using Syndbuddy. And this walkthrough will actually show you a little bit more about how it works. There are going to be some OTOs. I think I'll cover them toward the end of this. Okay, no need for that. I'm sure you're all really interested in learning more about the product. And so let's go right into the members area. And the first thing you're going to notice on the dashboard, it's actually very, very simple. You're going to see there are social signals and there are social shares. So social signals are things such as Google Plus, YouTube videos, Facebook shares, likes, etc. Okay. Social shares are things such as bookmarking, social bookmarking, blogging sites, WordPress, Blogger, Tumblr, etc. Okay, you see the difference? So you can decide what you want, if you just want one, or if you want both or all of them. All right, and that's what those are all about. Now, let's say, I should point out that at the beginning, when you first purchase this, you're going to be given free credits, I believe. At least that's the way it was for me about a year ago. And I think it was something like, I don't know, 500 credits, maybe 1,000. I think it was 500 at the time. Okay, and maybe that's enough for you. You know, maybe you're not going to need many more credits. If you're just starting out and you want to sort of test the waters and see how it goes before you start really scaling up and buying more credits, you may want to just stay with that. But here's the good news. Even if you start running out of credits, you can actually earn credits by simply sharing other people's content on your social accounts. All right. So for example, let's say you decide that you want to do some sharing. So that means you're going to come in here and there's a category filter, and you simply identify which particular category that appeals to you, whether it's business or beauty, personal care, computers, etc., etc. And then you hit filter, and then what will happen is it is going to find you these accounts that somebody wants you to share, and then they will tell you how much you will earn. So if you do a Facebook share of this YouTube video, you get 3 credits. If you view the video, there's a countdown timer that'll appear next to it, and in this case they want you to watch it for like 30 seconds, then you get a credit for that. If you share it on your G Plus account, then you get 2 credits, and I think for Twitter it's 2 credits, and there's some variation on these. Now here's a little suggestion, okay, and this is what I do. I often will look for YouTube videos that require you to actually watch them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they will sometimes offer you as much as 20 or 30 credits for that. And all that means is I click on it, it runs here with a counter next to it. I can walk away, and when I come back and the timer has reached 0, those credits are automatically added to my account. And so I was able to actually accumulate a number of credits simply through sharing. And that is an excellent way to do it without having to spend any extra money whatsoever. All right. Now, if you feel you'd like to buy credits, the best option for you is going to be in one of the OTOs, where you can be part of a subscription plan, which is relatively inexpensive per month. I think it's going to be like $27 a month or whatever, and where they will provide you with a certain number of credits automatically every month, so you don't even have to worry about sharing or so forth. But again, if you want to avoid that kind of expense completely, you can just simply do it on the credit exchange platform, credit exchange system. Okay, so that's essentially how that works. But now, let's say that you want to run your own campaigns for social signals. So this is a case where you actually want other people to actually share your content on their social accounts. So I'm going to give you an example of this was for a website that I had created recently. It's an affiliate, my review site, pjreviews.com actually. And so what I did was I actually went through all the different categories, and I decided to do some experimenting, and this is something I encourage you to do. What you're going to find is that if within certain categories, you may actually receive more shares than in others. All right. So, for example, business and industrial. Well, let me take you in here so that you understand what this is all about and how you set it up. Okay. So when you are first setting up your campaign, these are the details. You put the name of the campaign, the URL, okay, that you want. In my case, it was my website. What category you want. So see, here's so you have a number of categories. I mean, there must be 20 or more, all right, that you can put it to. The total limit, you can set the number of signals that you want to receive to your particular URL, and a daily limit, how many signals you want to receive per day to the URL. Then you also select the signal types. So in this case, you can choose whatever you want. And so I decided to choose all four for Facebook likes, shares, Google Plus, and tweets. All right. And it tells you exactly what you're going to have to spend. So 2 credits for Facebook likes, 3 for share, 2 for Google Plus, and 2 for tweet. And you can always come back, by the way, modify this, change this, delete things, and you just hit update, and it refreshes everything for you. Okay, so that's essentially how that works. Now, let me see if I can go back here and show you again the results. Okay, so if you look here in this particular category where I had it running, I had a limit of 20 per day. Currently there's 9. Okay, and you can always check the results over here to see what has happened, and it will give you the date and what the share was and the cost. So as you can see, I got it. Share, likes, more share, another Google Plus tweet, Facebook share, Google Plus, more tweets, etc. And that's how that works. And it's very, very effective, as I said. Now, let's say, on the other hand, that you want to do a social share. So this is, again, for social bookmarking, blogging, WordPress, Blogger, and so forth. So let's take a look at my campaigns there. And I don't have much running. I actually only had a couple, and then I actually deleted them. You just simply click here whenever you want to start a new social share campaign. This was one I was running in business and industrial. For whatever reason, I actually received a better performance here. There were actually more shares made in this particular category than in any of the other categories I chose. Again, it depends on the niche, and I guess it's going to also depend on whether some people have blogs that are related to that maybe they don't want to share your content on, and so forth and so on. But since we have more than 3,000 people using this, the odds are you're going to find a category that is going to perform well for you and where there's a number of shares are going to be made. So in this particular case, I limited it to 10. I actually have 9 now, and I limited it to 3 per day. And these were bookmarks, okay, that I was looking for. So let's just look at the reviews. Let's look at the results, and there you go. So you can see here that it began on 5/14. All right, and I think it ran to 5/20. Okay, was when was the last time that it was shared. And these are the sites: Diego, Instapaper, mostly, Pearl Trees, SiteJot.com, Bitly, so forth and so on. And there are my credit costs. Okay, as you can see. But again, even as you accumulate these particular credits on your spend, you can actually reciprocate by sharing other people's content, and you can earn those back. So it's a very nice check and balance system. I really like the way that this is set up. It's actually quite brilliant. And I'm going to give you a suggestion here now. And this would apply across the board. There are many people who feel that when they do, no matter how many social shares they do or how many signals that they send to a particular site, that doesn't seem to be making any difference in ranking and so forth and so on, or that it takes a long period of time. And one of the things I've noticed, and many others have noticed, is that Google has made it more difficult to index many properties. They're not automatically indexing things like they used to. So don't assume that just because it's a social bookmarking site with a high domain authority or page authority or whatever, that Google is going to automatically index it. Now, my opinion is, and it may differ from many others, is that unless something is indexed, it's not going to give you the full link juice. Let's put it that way. I'm not saying it doesn't have any effect, because if something is crawled by Google, by their spiders, things are crawled all the time. Yes, I think they acknowledge that it's there and exists. There's this digital asset sitting there, a YouTube video, whatever it is, your blog posts. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has going to convey any true link juice until it's indexed. That's my view, and that's been my own experience. So it's important to me to get things indexed. So here's what I do. Once I have these campaigns and they're finished, what I do is I simply cut and paste these, put these in a notepad, or I put them into a Excel spreadsheet. And then what I do is I have an indexer that I use, and I put them through that. And usually within a short period of time, I can usually get pretty much all of them indexed right away. And it is then, and only then, that I notice that these are really starting to have an impact in terms of the rankings of whether it's a video or if it's a website or so forth and so on. So that's just a suggestion. You don't have to do that. Just leave it. Google will eventually index it, probably, or at least 80–90% of what you're doing, but it may take time. When left alone, what I often find, it can be sometimes as long as 2 to 3 weeks now before properties are being indexed, unless you nudge them a little bit. All right. So that's just a suggestion. So that is essentially how this works. Okay. Pretty simple. There are tutorials that come with it. Very simple, easy to watch, very, very clear and well laid out tutorials to show you if you ever run into any problems. Very good support on this. In the past year that I've used it, there were a couple of times that I had some issues where it wasn't loading properly, and a lot of this had to do, it turns out, with the fact that you have so many people on the site at the same time, and so it kind of slows things down. But other than that, it's a very, very good product. Excellent product. So hopefully that answers all your questions about how this works. Also, if you go to my review. I did a review of this actually some months ago on pjreviews.com. I go into some other details, some small details that maybe I'm not covering here, that you can also look at if you desire. All right. Let me see if I can get back here. So, as I said, this sale starts on June 25th. So you're not going to be able to, well, you don't want to buy this before that. Okay. And I did promise you that I would, first of all, tell you about these OTOs. Let's discuss them just briefly. The front end is going to be the software, basically. That's essentially it. I do not know what it's going to launch at, what the price is going to be. It's probably somewhere around maybe $27, $37. That's usually what it is during a sale such as this, okay? And if that's all you want, I think, as I said, they're going to be offering you a number of free credits right off the bat, and you could just start with that, and then you could scale up later if you decided you needed more credits or you didn't want to earn credits in the way that I described through this exchange platform and exchange system. If you're finding that too troublesome, or it's taking up too much time, or it's not something you want to bother with, and you want to just have credits and you want to buy them, then what I would actually and definitely encourage you to do is to go for this OTO 1 subscription, which may be $27 a month. I don't know, and I don't know how many credits. It might be 2,000 credits, 3,000 per month. But even if it's 1,000, you don't have to worry then about exchanging or reciprocating by actually sharing anybody else's content on any of your social accounts. OTO2 is the SynLab software. SynLab is what I like to refer to as the poor man's or the poor woman's SynWire. Now, if you know anything about SynWire, is a very, very expensive subscription-based social exchange platform, which is excellent, but which I personally was never able to afford, and I just found it ridiculously overpriced. Not saying it's not good. It is superb. If you can afford it, go for it. However, SynLab came along and I started using that, and I thought it would not be as good as that. I was also using Only Wire, which you may have heard of, which I found to be extremely limited, and again, rather costly for the number of social accounts they allowed me to use. I think it was something like 10 or 15, and I had to scale up to some ridiculous monthly charge, which I hated. But SynLab came along, and I liked it because it was just a one-time purchase, and it had a number of accounts that I could add to it, and it works beautifully. The other great thing about SynLab is that you can it integrates with Syndbuddy. So in other words, you can create your social accounts in SynLab, and once you have that done, if you want to submit them to Syndbuddy, it's simply a click of a mouse, and then all of that gets sent out to these other social platforms. So it's actually quite brilliant. The OTO 3 is another product, Joshua Zamora, which I actually own. I've reviewed it before. You can also see my review of it on pjreviews.com, and I believe in this channel you'll also see my review of it there. The X-Ranker 360 software, which is for leveraging the power of live YouTube events. And during the review, I was given actually a free copy of it, which is what is often provided to affiliates such as myself. And so I was able to test it and use it. And in fact, I liked it so much, I ended up buying it. And now I use it for my live streaming. And it's very, very easy to use. And so far, I have had not a single problem in using or live streaming anything to YouTube. So it's a wonderful alternative to some of the other products and other pieces of software out there that are fairly expensive. Not to say that they're bad, but they're much more expensive. So this, again, is a much more affordable alternative if you are especially into video marketing and doing some live streaming. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. And again, as I said, I'm going to be including my own bonuses, which are all related to social marketing and I think are extremely valuable. The first is an excellent course on how to use Pinterest. Pinterest is very, very underused, I find, as a social platform. And it's something Google really likes. And the reason I know this is because whenever I use Pinterest, and I use it quite a lot, what I often find is that all of the backlinks that are created in Pinterest show up almost immediately in my Google Webmaster account. Google recognizes Pinterest even more so nowadays than Twitter. So this is another suggestion, another tip. But this particular course is going to show you how you're going to be able to tap into that, into the traffic and using traffic through Pinterest and what you need to do in order to set up your accounts and so forth and so on in order to do so. So it's actually an excellent account. Similarly, another underused social platform is Reddit, which I love, and I use Reddit quite a lot with my own campaigns. Again, Google likes Reddit. Don't ask me why. They like Reddit, and they rank Reddit blog posts very often above many other blog posts. So it's kind of, again, counterintuitive. You wouldn't expect this, but it's so. So Reddit is something you should also look at. And so this particular report actually is going to walk you through everything that you're going to need to know in order to build a list using this very popular social marketing niche. Thirdly, you're going to be getting an automation tool which is called Pin Campaigner, which I use, and again I think is quite good, and it's going to allow you to actually automate how you do your pinning within Pinterest, which is key, and it'll explain to you what you need to do in order to set that up. Lastly, Instagram, also extremely good, has great value and more increasingly so, and I think just recently Instagram made it possible for you to actually upload videos as long as an hour. So they're in direct competition with YouTube, and these social signals are extremely powerful. Don't take my word for it. Work with Instagram when you can, and you will see the results. And this particular course will actually explain to you how to use Instagram to drive and generate leads and to actually make more sales with CPA, cost per action. You may know about this as an affiliate marketer. Extremely good. These are all very, very valuable courses and very, very good courses for you to look at. So I'm going to wrap this up right now. I've probably been talking way too long, but hopefully you've learned everything that you need to know about this particular product, what the pluses are. I don't see a lot of negatives to it. The only negative that I could find, as I said, is that in some cases, depending on your niche and what it is you're trying to promote, I found that within certain categories, I was not able to get as much traction and not enough users that were willing to share it for whatever reason. So I found that I would have to actually upload it within varying different categories until I found the one where there were the most people willing to share it. So that was the only thing that I found with it. But other than that, excellent. And again, if you are interested in combining this with SynLab, it's really seamless the way it's now integrated, and that's something you may want to explore as well. Well, thank you very much for watching my video, and please, if you get an opportunity, even if you don't decide to purchase through me, please come back. I'm going to be offering many more reviews like this in the future, and if you wouldn't mind, just subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it, and thank you again, and to your success. Take care.